Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Let's take it on down to NOLA. Sharief Ishaq, WDSU, joins us every Tuesday. Sharief, how are you?
We're back.
Oh, the Pels, the Saints, Halloween. What are we talking about?
All the above. Everything. We're back. LSU's about to beat Bama. We're good.
What did the Saints accomplish on Sunday?
Well, they actually, used that mini bye week after that loss to the Jaguars and simplified it. Looked like they simplified that offense and actually made it work. And I thought that, Pete Carmichael called a very good game. The offensive line with some pretty good protection outside of the one fumble by Derek Carr where McCoy let a guy run right past him. And he did a good job in all three levels throwing the ball. They ran the ball for 161 yards. I mean, it looked like when they said, hey, we're getting close, they actually showed instead of saying. So I've been saying that. Stop saying, start doing. And they did it in that game against the Colts. Now it's about show me you can do it again. But that was a good start for them.
How big was Taysom Hill in the red zone?
Yeah, very big. It's crazy to think that 20-yard run is their longest run of the season. But, that's one of the recipes to winning a football game. Use him. Use him more. I saw Mike Triplett put out a tweet that they're 17-1 when he has 7 or more carries. Why not use him? I mean, the stats are there. Use him more. When you get into the red zone, let him do what he does best, and that's absolutely punish teams on the ground. I like how they used him. I mean, they let him throw the ball, a couple of times. The second one was, I thought, a good pass. Good job by Rashid Shaheed to wrestle that ball away. But the way they use him is how he should always be used. I think it's a successful way, to move that offense down the field. And, he can get you those hard-nosed yards. And maybe, just maybe, they found something with this offense in that trip in Indy.
Is there any chance for this offensive line to get a little bit healthier entering this next week?
Yeah, I mean, considering how they played last week, I mean, you get them a little healthier, maybe they play even better. I mean, you only give up 1 sack. I mean, and you have great, run block, pass block. I mean, I just would like to see, this offense trend in that direction. Not just the offense, but I just want to see them continue to do that. I mean, Derek Carr was effective on 27 passes. You don't want to see him throwing 55 times. 27 times is great, and that's because of the offensive line giving them that protection, and that's the balance with the running attack and the passing attack. And those two go hand in hand. When you got those two going and your offensive line working, I think that you have a chance to be successful on this very, very favorable schedule they got coming up.
Yeah, it all kind of looks that way, but they certainly cashed in Indianapolis against a backup quarterback, Gardner Minshew, as it were. Speaking of the defense, Isaiah Foskey got back there and make a play. I realize you had some injuries up front, and he was probably in there largely due to that. But do you think he's got a chance to be a contributor down the stretch?
Well, he's going to have to be a contributor. He was a second-round pick. At this point, they're not making a trade for a defensive lineman, so they have to, bank on him to get some kind of pressure because Carl Granderson at this point is the only one who's getting back there and having a chance to have a sack. And it has to come from other areas, whether it be Brian Brzee, Isaiah Foskey. I know Cam Jordan, at his age, is doing his best to create pressures, but someone other than Carl Granderson has to get the job done back there on quarterbacks. And I know sometimes those quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball quicker now against that Saints defensive line, but still something else has to be done. Deflections, pressures, it has to come from Foskey, Brzee, somebody else other than Carl Granderson.
Would you have liked the Saints to explore a Jameis Winston trade before the deadline today?
If the price was right, I know the Vikings got Josh Dobbs for a much cheaper price, but if the price is right, if you could have gotten a 3rd or 4th round pick. Yeah, of course. Why not? Because you don't have a 3rd or 4th round pick in this upcoming draft. All you have is the 1st, the 2nd, and then 3 late round picks on the final day. You need assets. And if it would have worked out, yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, you could have, if anything would have happened to Derek Carr, Taysom Hill could have played quarterback or,
Are you okay with that? If
rookie.
you're trying to win the division, are you okay with Taysom Hill playing quarterback should Derek Carr go down for a month or the season?
Yeah, I mean, well, I would say yes, mostly because Haener missed all that time to start the season, wasn't able to be in the building for most of the suspension, and he is a rookie. I'd be fine with it, yeah. I mean, Taysom, if you look at his record and what he did as a starting quarterback, he was just fine. I think I'd have been fine if Carr goes down. You let him play if that trade would have actually happened. So yeah, I'd have been good with it.
So we talked about this last week, and I've talked about it with Luke Johnson as well. The vibes were not great in the Dome for that Jacksonville game. There was some booing. There were some folks leaving. It was not great. You had to stop the bleeding with this game at the Colts before your next home game. If you had lost 5 of 6 entering this game with the Chicago Bears, I think you were being for kind of a rough welcome into the Dome. They did get the win. The Bears have a backup quarterback. They're an absolute disaster. The Vikings now don't have Kirk Cousins. I don't know what the Falcons are doing at quarterback. And so, as you mentioned, there's a stretch here that I feel like things could turn around. Do you think the fan base feels that way? And do you think the energy in the Dome will reflect that on Sunday?
Only way that happens, Hunt, if you see something close to what you saw Sunday with the offense, plus the defense getting off to a faster start. You cannot continue to have these slow starts. You've seen it in 3 straight games with the defense. And knowing your offense has struggled until last week against the Colts, you can't afford to have slow starts with your defense, no matter the team that they're playing, because you never know what you're going to get with the offense. So I think if you can get, near that 30-point range and your defense can hold the team to the 14 to 17-point range, yeah, the fans will be back, but it has to be consistency in order to get the fans back on track. And the players know that. They want to see their team win. And I think without consistency and, making life so much harder on themselves, I just don't know how the fans are going to be happy if they're going to just do this roller coaster ride throughout the entire season, knowing you have to beat these teams that are on your schedule that you're supposed to beat. I mean, plain and simple, you're better than these teams. And I know some people would say, well, I guess they're not because they're losing the game, but you look on paper and look at the players that you have on this roster. Yes, you are better than the teams you're going against. Like, honestly, they are 4-4. I think they should have 2 more wins. They should have never lost to the Packers and never should have lost to the Texans. The Bucs, they just beat them. The Jaguars are a better team. I mean, plain and simple, they should be 6-2. But I understand that's not how it works.
It is not, and we'll see if they can inch towards the 6th win when they play Chicago on Sunday. Tyson Badgett, Justin Fields, it hadn't seemed to matter. They've not been very good no matter what on the offensive side of the football. Any reason to believe the Saints won't win on Sunday?
I'm looking at the line at 7.5. That's wild. No, I think they win. I think that loss to the Jaguars and I think that the loss to the Texans might have been a little bit of a wake-up call. I think having Derek Carr running up and down the sideline, yelling and being upset at players in that Jacksonville game maybe was an awakening. He said he had talked to a lot of the, players and coaches after that loss, maybe to get on the same page, and it worked. It worked against the Colts. Now show me you can do it again. And I think, all the players, said the same thing. We need to do this consistently. Now, not maybe 38 points, but, they got to find a way to do it consistently. And I just think the Saints are probably going to stay awake here against the Bears. I think they know they haven't done well at home, and they got a team that's really just not great. And I think they're going to try to take advantage of it coming off that win against Indy.
All right, I'm going to put you on the record here. Halloween, October the 31st, do the Saints win the division?
Yes, I said that even after they lost those 2 games.
You did.
Against the Texans and Colts. I said they still would win the NFC South because top to bottom, they have the better team. I mean, no excuses.
Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.